I love Denise's superheroes image for our Zero Heroes.
Yeah. Snappy outfit.
I wish I could join using my computer, but I can't get it to work.
Looks like your phone's working pretty well, though. I love your background, Jenifer.
That is a painting by
Wow,
Jeff Russell.
that's amazing.
I at HSU for a while, and then he was at Davis. But I do wish I could get my computer to work.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
Do you want to see if he...
But 7:02, do we want to get started? Do we want to give it another minute or get started?
Why don't you get started?
Okay, sure. All right. Well, welcome everyone to Zero Heroes Night 2020, and thank you for joining us. I'm just gonna, we would like to start off the evening by acknowledging the work of the work that Zero Waste Humboldt, sorry. We would like to start off the evening by acknowledging that the work of Zero Waste Humboldt is being done on the unceded lands of the Wiyot, Hoopa, Karuk, Yurok, and Mattole peoples. We invite you to stand in solidarity with local tribes and take action that leads toward Wiyot, Hoopa, Karuk, Yurok, and Mattole sovereignty over their current and ancestral homelands. One example of a way in which we can honor this sovereignty is to pay an honor tax to the tribe whose land you live or work on. To educate yourself on what an honor tax is, go to that link in the chat, www.honortax.org. You can also participate in efforts to give land back to local tribes. If you are not located in the area, you can take similar efforts to support the sovereignty of tribes whose land you occupy. If you do not know whose lands you occupy, you can visit the website Native-land.ca, which is also in the chat.
Thanks, Kelly. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining Zero Waste Humboldt's annual Zero Heroes Night. I'm Maggie Gaynor. I'm president of the Zero Waste Humboldt Board of Directors. This has been a rough year for many of us, so this is an ideal opportunity to acknowledge and celebrate inspiring work in Humboldt. We want you to know how much we appreciate your support for Zero Waste Humboldt's work. And I'd like to acknowledge and thank our major sponsors for this year. The Rose Foundation for Communities and the Environment has been a terrific funder. Coast Central Credit Union has been a regular business sponsor for us, as well as Kokatat. And the North Coast Co-op has been a partner in many projects. We've done research on plastics packaging for them. And they have a special program called the Seeds for Change that last year was a great fundraising source for us. So I want to encourage all of you who are co-op board members to please either go right on the homepage of their website, or when you shop, vote for Zero Waste Humboldt. There's a long list of nonprofits vying for a few positions in this program. And it's just to remind you, it's the one where you round up your purchase, and the extra cents will go to support a nonprofit for a month. And so please vote for Zero Waste Humboldt. The long list ends, it's alphabetical order, so you may not find Z at the end of the list. Thanks. I also want to really thank Humboldt State University's internship programs. We have many different interns from all the different disciplines, but this year we've had two outstanding interns from the School of Business, Namneet Kaur, and our current intern right now is Gloria Baker. Professional, conscientious, great work ethic, and really great to work with. Thank you very much. We also want to, we have heartfelt thanks to Jess Pettit of Good Enough Now for handling all of our Zoom technology for tonight. These are just some examples of 2020 activities. Zero Waste Humboldt is, or Zero Waste is still new to many people. So very briefly, Zero Waste is a major shift in thinking from waste management and recycling to sustainable materials management, with an important priority emphasis on proactive waste prevention strategies and reuse systems, followed by recycling and composting. These priorities are reflected in this evening's Zero Heroes honorees that were selected. Even while the coronavirus curtailed Zero Waste Humboldt's activities for 2020, we were able to continue presentations to business, community, and local government groups. Environmental educators Haley Connors Keith and Denise Newman produced a packet of fun zero waste activities for kids, the Zero Waste Zebras. This is intended for parents and kids at home, for youth groups and after school programs, but of course we'll make sure that it is distributed to all schools. In February, right before the virus, we presented 2 Zero Waste Beginners workshops with Zero Waste USA. We maintained our fall We Choose to Reuse annual social media campaign, and then last month hosted every Thursday in October a movie night series. We're finalizing our Zero Waste Business Training webinar series this month. We have really concentrated this year on board development and fundraising to prepare for hiring staff next year. With the continued weakening of recycling, I'll update you a little later about our plans for 2021. And now I'd like to introduce you to Zero Waste Humboldt board member, Kate Lancaster.
Hi, everyone. It's really great to see you all. And I get to talk a little bit about the auction. So if we go to the next slide, I think we'll see. Okay, perfect. Carl Johnson is graciously hosting auctions, silent auctions for various nonprofits in the area. So this is ours. And the link will be posted in the chat so that you can go to it. We've got 10 items that have been donated, and here they are. And I'll quickly go through them and thank the donors as well as I go through it. So the first one that I'll talk about is there's a Weber set that was donated by Hensel's Ace Hardware. It includes an 18-inch Weber charcoal grill, a 3-pack of Weber premium tools, and 16 pounds of Kingsford charcoal. Hensel's Ace Hardware also contributed 2 what they call Quarantini gift baskets, and each one of them is valued at $55. They include a cocktail mixer, bottle openers, and then a variety of other items. One has a flask and another one has a reusable straw in addition to the items. Beautiful painting by artist Aladuron Laird. It's a stone lagoon in the morning mist. And it's a 16 by 20-inch photograph on metal that has been contributed and is available. My husband and I have contributed. We have a bed and breakfast just up Fickle Hill, and we've contributed 2 nights of lodging at our place. We have a permaculture inspired property about a little less than an acre of what would you call it, managed property. We have a little bit of a redwood forest as well. And so we have chickens so we provide eggs, and we practice COVID compliant cleanliness, and we use non-toxic materials as much as possible. So we try to create a very sustainable habitat. We also have another piece of art, which is called a cyclographical topography by artist Alex Karlbaum. And he's a free associative abstract painter and full-time artist. His work is currently being shown at Moonrise Herbs if you want to see more of his work. Revolution Bicycles has contributed a Bond Ranger, I don't know how to pronounce this for sure, Bond Ranger Blaze Wave Cell Bike Helmet. And it is a very high-tech bike helmet to protect your head as you're biking and doing any wild activities on a bike. Kokatat has provided 2 Proteus life vests, and they are valued at $240. One is extra large, and the extra large and double extra large, and the other one is medium large. So it would be a great family companion, or for a companion and yourself. I also want to mention that with respect to Revolution Cycle, the helmet, you get to select your own. So we will provide you contact information so that you can go and make sure that the helmet fits your head. We have a basket that has a variety of goods from a number of different companies. Eureka Natural Foods provided juice, coffee, and chocolate, $25 gift certificate from North Coast Cooperative, Zero Waste turtle necklace from our very own Zero Hero, plastic uniquely recycled, a zipper bag from Thimbleberry Threads, hand soap and hand lotion from Needland Farm Stand, and a pie plate from Farm Arts, in addition to a couple of other items. There's another, that one is valued at $250. We have another basket at $52 from Humboldt Marketplace, which includes Beck's Bakery wheat crackers, Lacey's almond and dark chocolates, Diane's Sweet Heat raspberry habanero jam, East Shore Mustard Bear River Valley beef smoked salami, some gummies, some hum yum sea salt caramels, and redwood roast coffee. So all sorts of really good things in that basket. So that's what we have available through our auction. The auction is running right now and will continue to run until next Sunday. If you go online, you will be able to look at the items, but in order to bid, you will need to sign in, and there are instructions on how to do so. So we hope that you'll find these items of interest. Thank you. And I think we're moving into recognitions now.
Kelly.
Right. All right. So hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Fortner, Vice President of Zero Waste Humboldt's Board of Directors. It is my pleasure to introduce our first honoree tonight. Nearly 40 years ago, Beth Kabat was a young truck driver for Arcata Community Recycling Center's commercial cardboard collection route. She started noticing that Moonstone Mountaineering's dumpster was often full of fiberfill, a byproduct of their sleeping bag manufacturing operation. That was just the beginning. Beth is resourceful, creative, and has a keen eye for the use of discarded and reusable materials. Let's watch her video to learn more about Thimbleberry threads.
Hi, I'm Beth Kabat, and my business is Thimbleberry Threads. I create a line of textile products using my original art. My products are pillows, t-shirts, market bags, wall hangings, and little zippered pouches and purses. I sell at fairs, festivals, some wholesale, and at my studio in McKinleyville. As a kid, I always had a strong urge to make things. I had very few resources, so I got used to making things out of whatever materials were available. Soon after moving to Humboldt, I got a job at the Arcata Recycling Center. While doing cardboard pickup at local businesses, I noticed that a sleeping bag manufacturer was throwing away lots of fiberfill scrap every week. I knew it could be perfect for stuffing pillows, so I started hand painting canvas to sew into pillows, and bam! Thimbleberry Threads was born. I did this on my 1916 Singer treadle sewing machine in my little 12 by 12 foot off-grid cabin. In 1988, I moved to town and got an electric sewing machine and switched from hand painting to screen printing my designs. I added zippers to the pillow covers so they could be easily washed and people could buy them stuffed or unstuffed. Eventually, I ran out of all the fiberfill I had salvaged, but continued to make pillow covers that can be stuffed with standard bed pillows or used to recover and update people's home decor. Along the way, I was generating scrap pieces of canvas, so I started making small zippered pouches. They looked and functioned so much better if they were lined, so I started collecting fabric from thrift stores, yard sales, scrap Humboldt, and quilter friends. 3/4 of the components in the zip bags are scrap fabrics. In 1999, I started sewing a line of rugged, washable market bags and book bags to help people reduce their use of disposable bags while shopping. I could have made things easier for myself by buying pre-made bags to print on, but I discovered that most of them are imported, poor quality, and not durable. I continue to sew my own bags, and I'm proud of how durable they are. Over time, I generated plenty of my own scraps, which were too small for the little zippered bags, but guess what? Those lightweight cotton scraps have been perfect for making masks. Also, I've made use of my collection of defective t-shirts by cutting them up to create ties for the masks. Since March, I've made almost 1,500 masks. Fabric pieces too small for masks might very well become a quilt when I retire. I've also always enjoyed the combination of real functionality and art while making use of materials. It's fun brainstorming about the next best use of materials that would otherwise be heading toward the waste stream. Please get in touch with me. I would love to show you my studio.
Yay.
Thank you so much, Beth. Would you like to say a few words?
Sure. I wrote up a little thing. I'm just going to read it because otherwise I'll forget important details.
Great, sounds good.
So it's about textile waste being a global problem. in my video, I'm talking about my very small localized business, but I want to speak to this category on a bit of a bigger scale. In my fabric sourcing, I ran across a business in New York City. It's called Fab Scrap, and they're a nonprofit business working in textile waste reduction. There's a short, fascinating CNN video viewable on Facebook about them. Currently, they pick up and sort 8,000 pounds of textiles weekly from 500 fashion and interior design companies just in their area. The textiles are sorted into two categories. One is reuse and resale, and the other is for recycling. They get shredded, or they shred 12,000 to 20,000 pounds per month in that category. Fab Scrap's goal is to work with these 500 companies to help them meet their design process needs while streamlining the business so they're not generating so much scrap in the first place. There's interesting information on their website about the difficulties in scaling businesses in the textile scrap and waste sector. Seems like the scaling problems would apply to most categories of waste. This kind of thing gives me a lot to think about while I'm sewing. And it joins other weird thoughts, like when I'm traveling in congested areas, I think, how many socks are there on all these people? I mean, if you just think about all the socks in the world, I don't know. I have to keep myself entertained. So thank you.
Great. Thank you again. A
Thank
big
you.
round of applause for Beth.
If you have any questions, go ahead and ask.
Yes, great. And as you all might see in the chat, if you're interested in bidding in the silent auction, please feel free to do so now at the link that was sent in the chat. And now I will pass it over to Denise.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here tonight. I'm Denise Newman, a member of the Zero Waste Humboldt Board of Directors, and I'm pleased to introduce our next honorees, partners Michael Deakin and Joe Duckett. They are the owners of the Reschool. Since the closure of Arcata Community Recycling Center's Reusables Depot about 9 years ago, there's been a lack of places to take and to buy quality reusable building materials. So this business has been welcomed in the community. Until recently, it was Turtle Mountain Design, used building materials salvage yard at Redwood Acres. Let's watch their video to learn about the business name change and what they do.
My name is Michael Deakin. I'm the owner and operator of Humboldt Reschool, formerly Turtle Mountain Design. Humboldt Reschool came out of a passion to reduce and reuse recyclable building materials here in Humboldt County. So Turtle Mountain Design is where we do our custom furniture, our custom cabinetry, our artistic designs and installations for homeowners and businesses here in Humboldt County. Humboldt Reschool is going to be our new venture where we provide educational elements and opportunities for adults and youth in our community, helping them to become inspired for our waste reduction goals, but also in the ability to reuse and repurpose materials. Humboldt Reschool offers this amazing salvage yard you see here behind me. We dismantle board by board and salvage buildings that were built pre-1950 out of old growth material. I feel like Humboldt Reschool has a very positive impact on our community. We help divert waste from trash into usable products again. There's so much that we have turned into single-use materials that this gives these materials an ability to have a second life, to become different projects, to be reused in our community, and also to educate our community in how to reduce the amount of waste that they create. Humboldt Reschool is nothing but zero waste. There is nothing that we can't see value in, and that includes people in our community. We are very passionate. We're also very disorganized. So we like to say we're idealistic and disorganized in that if you can't see 5, 6, 7 different options of use for a piece of material here that you see at the yard, we are here to help educate you and inspire you to find those reusable items. So myself and Joe Duckett would like to thank Zero Waste Humboldt in honoring us with your 2020 Zero Heroes Award. We are so amazed at this organization and what they provide for our community. I feel like we have the most amazing community here in Humboldt County. People are so forward-thinking and are so passionate about the environment and about the community in which they live that we have nowhere but up to go from here.
That was great. Thank you so much. And now we get to hear a few words from Michael Deakin.
I'm sorry to say that Joe Duckett is not able to join us, but he's here in spirit. So he wanted me to make sure to let everyone know how happy and honored we are. This has been really amazing for us to be recognized by you guys and to be able to help spread the message here in the community about the possibility of reducing this single-use items. So we're very grateful. I think the gift baskets were amazing. By the way, everyone who added into those were great. So thanks everyone for all your really hard work, and let's keep doing the zero waste.
Yay. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Joe. Go Reschool. Hey, everybody. I'm Krista Miller. I'm the newest member of Zero Waste Humboldt on the board of directors, and it is my pleasure to introduce our next honoree, Melissa Zarp and Alice Vasterling, the owners of Beachcomber Café in Trinidad. And a few years back, some food and beverage serving businesses would refuse to fill your cup, while others would incentivize customers to bring their own coffee cups. And Beachcomber, one of the first adopters of reuse, and help make it cool and an accepted thing to do. And in many ways, they have integrated waste reduction and environmental values into their everyday business operations. So here's a recent video clip of the Beachcomber during our pandemic.
Am I supposed to go to you?
Hand to me. Welcome to the Beachcomber Cafe. We are practicing the art of getting drinks into cups without touching them. I am making a mocha. And hopefully we can be a beacon to the rest of the world to practice this fine art. It's Halloween. All right, here we go.
Beautiful.
Voila.
Oh, delicious.
Yay. Alice or Melissa, did you guys want to say a few words?
The pandemic has been very exciting on trying to navigate our no paper cup policy. And so it took us 2 months to figure out how we were going to roll. And because we are such a communal hub, this is where people meet. This is where the community comes and shares community. So now we've created this space where the one normal thing that we can do is still use people's cups. And there's been a lot of relief because it sounds like a lot of other places have stopped doing that. So we're like holding the line, and people are still inspired that we're doing it. So that feels really good. And we've been doing this since 2007. So I'm just thinking about all those cups that haven't made it into the landfill, and also that we hold a line. We are the gateway to the redwoods. People come from all over the world to see these majestic beings, and we get to help inspire and educate people about our surroundings and to return to reverence. So we are so honored to have this award, and thank you everybody for the gifts, and you guys are a big inspiration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. I am Camilla Zapata, and I'm also a Zero Waste Humboldt board member. And next, I'd like to introduce our next honoree, Jenifer Sherman-Ruppe, owner of Plastic Uniquely Recycled. As Jenifer became aware of the environmental damage done by plastics, she made a personal commitment to do something about it. With her artist's eye and the cooperation of local pharmacies, she has created an ingenious and attractive product line. She's a perfect example of local, small-scale manufacturing to recycle discarded material. The following video explains her process.
Hi, I'm Jenifer, and I own Plastic Uniquely Recycled. How I started was, honestly, I wanted to shred material because there's so much material in the world, and I thought it'd be a great idea if I could shred it, and I wanted to make art yarn. So I got a hold of a friend that is a weaver and a spinner, and we started getting together, researching, and what happened is when we put in shredding, we came up with a shredder that's made by Precious Plastic. So Precious Plastic is a guy named Dave Haskins, and he put together 4 machines that, and he open sourced the blueprints and told you how to deal with the material. So there's a lot of plastic in the world too, so I switched and decided to shred plastic. So this is what I do. I have several businesses that collect plastic for me, so I don't have to go out and find my plastic. It comes from Clooney's Pharmacy, Lima's Pharmacy, Green's Pharmacy, and Satori Wellness. So I bring it home, and then this is the shredder that Precious Plastic open source their blueprints, and we will just stick a piece in here real quick. You have to go one piece at a time. Comes out down here. Anyway, so from being shredded, then it gets dumped into, so here's that material there. And then it gets dumped into these bins. From here, I will put it in a mesh bag and wash it in hot soapy water, and then rinse it in hot water, and then it'll sit on a tarp out in the sun. After that, it's put into jars, so that ends up being my my palette. And then it goes from there over here, where I will put it into molds. And molds are a funny thing. I'm always testing different molds and trying different things out. I've gone through, I feel like a chemist. I've gone through a lot of different things, like making my own silicone molds, buying silicone molds, using metal molds, and there's no perfect solution yet. Sometimes one thing works for a while and then it stops working. I cook it in a toaster oven and my toaster oven broke. I got a new toaster oven. Now I have to figure it all out again because this toaster oven seals tighter, and so it heats up faster and whatever. So I have to figure that out. But anyway, then they come out of the oven and I pop them out of their molds, and I have to clean off the back like this, and then I take a drill and I drill holes, and for the most part on my pieces I also just put in a little eyelet. So, and then, you know, that's another process. All right, so now we'll go upstairs.
Thank you, Jenifer, for sharing your process. Would you like to say a few words?
Okay,
Excuse me.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that when the pandemic hit, it was really hard to go out and talk to people, and the jewelry is all about getting people to talk about plastic waste in a positive way. And that's like been the most important thing about the product, is just getting people to talk in a positive way. And then I couldn't get anybody to talk, and I couldn't talk to people. So being recognized by Zero Waste as a Zero Hero honoree has re-sparked my enthusiasm.
Good.
And it just touches my heart, makes me want to go do more.
Great, great. Hi, I'm gonna move on to our next one. I'm pleased to introduce our last honoree tonight, the North Country Fair, and its manager, Alex Ozaki McNeill. The North Country Fair has been a loved community tradition since 1974. It's a nonprofit corporation governed by a board of directors who asked Zero Waste Humboldt for assistance in 2012. Around that period of time, there were a lot of complaints about a growing volume of waste generated by fairs and festivals. So they asked our help in writing a resolution for the board to commit to waste reduction and to establish zero waste practices. They have involved the public, all of their vendors, and have remained committed through the years to waste prevention and reuse systems to reduce waste ever since. A hallmark of the zero waste method is measurement and monitoring of waste generation and reduction over time. Their tracking waste data each year has made them a really great learning model for other large fairs and festivals, outdoors events. Here's a Bob Doran video of them working at the fair.
Okay, I want you guys to tell me about what to do with garbage.
You doing a video?
Yes, you're on live. You're on live right now.
Hey Bob, I'm Nancy Stevens. Monica Schooley. And we're doing Zero Waste for North Country Fair. And so we're just getting set up and getting all our materials from the vendors. Monica's been working with the vendors for several months to make sure that all of their materials are approved before they show up.
So all those things are compostable.
And then here's Lloyd.
Yeah. And then they're
Lloyd from
going
the
to
local
Lloyd
worm
is
farm.
the worm guy?
That's me, local worm guy.
Yes.
Yep.
So you'll compost all these things
Uh-huh.
and turn it into soil.
Uh,
Something like
it's
that.
close enough, yeah, worm castings. That's
Yeah,
right.
worm
And
castings.
then
So
people
the-
add that to the garden.
So the worms are going to eat the garbage.
That's correct. Yep,
That's-
yep. It gets a little bit of pre-composting, then it gets fed out to the worms. So they'll eat everything that people put in the bins, and then whatever leftover food or bones or whatever else happen to be left over from their meal, and that'll all get fed out.
So even meat and stuff like that can be.
Yep, they can handle a little bit of cooked meat. Yep.
Yeah, they're not vegetarians.
No. And if they are, they're not very good vegetarians.
Yeah.
They're omnivores.
Yeah, and how much stuff do you think you'll get today?
Let's
did you do this last year?
Yeah, this is our third year.
Did we get 5 yards?
That sounds about right. 4, yeah, between 4 and 5 yards. So that should be, yeah, for all the days.
So what's the yard?
A yard is
one of those.
It's a measure of 3
one of those
feet
bins
by 3 feet by 3 feet. So that's a cubic yard.
Yeah.
And that would be roughly the equivalent of about, what is it? 206 garbage cans is in a yard, roughly.
How many? 206?
6.
Oh, six.
6 of these size garbage cans are in a yard.
Okay.
Roughly. Yeah.
Yeah. And then how much landfill will you get?
We're hoping not very much.
Yeah, we started this back in 2011 and we've been using that baseline data, and in the past we've diverted up to 84% away from the landfill. So yeah, we're getting better every year.
So what if somebody coming down to the fair, what should they do in advance?
Bring a reusable cup, bring your own bag for popcorn, you can get a discount. Bring your own bike, you can bike, there's bike parking. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe knife, fork, spoon. You have those things recyclable,
so we
compostable?
have a lot of we have a lot of compostable utensils that will be available. A lot of the food you can actually, there's some tamales, you can just eat it right out of the wrapper. Yeah, a lot of the vendors are doing a really great job having just things that the worms can eat.
Once it comes off.
But bringing your own utensils would be great. Bring
Yeah.
your own utensils. You can't, I don't
It's
feel like you can,
BYO, it's in general, I
except
think.
for the plates.
Yeah.
Plates need to still be, it's a state law that they're single-use disposable. So that's why we're trying to make these all compostable, just to keep down the landfill.
Yeah, any other advice?
Come on down. It's a beautiful day.
Okay, will do. I'm there already.
Thanks so much. Alex, are you with us? And would you like to say a few words?
Hi, yeah, I am here. I want to say that the zero waste efforts of the fair have been going on far longer than I've been involved in it. A major part due to Zero Waste Humboldt, but also the previous directors and zero waste coordinators. So this past year, it was Monica Schooley and Emma Held, as well as a huge part due to Nancy Stevens, who's our liaison to the board and just has a lot of knowledge about what needs to go into it. I had no idea how much effort went into keeping the fair zero waste before I stepped into my current position with the fair. The amount of pre-planning, contacting all the food vendors to make sure that they're using compostable plates and utensils and that they're not bringing anything plastic, from no water bottles to no plastic forks. Asking all of our other vendors, craft vendors, to pack it in, pack it out with all of their booth setup materials. and even down to the jury selection of our artists that are at the fair. We take into account their process and where they're sourcing their materials. And so that's all very important, down to how we choose the vendors that are there at the fair. This past year at the fair, we weighed everything, we have paid and volunteer staff. We weigh and sort everything. We had 180 pounds of cardboard at the end of the 2 days, over 160 pounds of mixed recycling, 1,800 pounds of compost, and only 200 pounds of landfill waste. So it was 91% waste diversion for the 2019 fair, which was just so awesome to see that in numbers. And it's a huge effort on everybody's part, all of the volunteers, all of the organizations that send volunteers, our paid staff, the vendors, everybody does their part to make that happen. And I want to say that all of the other nominees this evening are in some way connected to the fair. Beth and Jenifer are both vendors. I know at least one of our artists gets the wood for their framing from Reschool, and I had countless meetings at Beachcomber getting ready for the fair. So it's really exciting to see everybody else who was nominated this evening.
Thank you. I'm going to just wrap up with a few notes for all of you. And I want to remind you that the auction, Kate, you correct me if I'm off, but the silent auction items will, you can bid on them through November 22nd. We're looking forward to 2021. When we first introduced the zero waste movement to Humboldt County almost 10 years ago now, very few people really understood that we were offering a better alternatives to recycling. Now there's more widespread understanding and acceptance of zero waste methods. This is really our time to make a difference. Here's a little list of some of the things we're going to, there are a lot of activities, but this will be some of what, after a strategic planning session in January, we'll hopefully zero in on and do more. And we're hoping that you'll like to, if any one of these activities, jump in and be a part of it. Funds raised this year will support our 2021 Zero Waste Business Training and Certification Program. So just to clarify, it will be offered Tuesday, January 12th and Thursday, January 14th. It is improved, remodeled, updated to be more relevant for small businesses, for local conditions, and much more affordable than it was in the past when we brought in people from out of the area as trainers. I will say that we have some of the very best and brightest zero waste experts as presenters in this two-part webinar series. This training and the webinars is the beginning of, for any businesses that would like to be zero waste certified. And there, we have, again, we've adapted a process to be convenient, affordable, very easy for local small businesses. It's also, if you would like to be one of our consultants to go on site with businesses, work with businesses, this training will be required. The Consumer Education and Advocacy Program is an updating and modernizing of what we've done in the past. It's really clear from Facebook and Nextdoor and even local newspapers and news media about the public's confusion over a weakened recycling system that we need to help everyday shoppers and consumers become zero waste warriors. We receive frequent emails, this is to give you an example, from outraged consumers who have just returned home from the store. And they tell us about things being wildly overpackaged in plastics, you know, all kinds of things that they really don't like. And when we ask them if they have, you know, what did the store manager say when you reported this and discussed it with them? And of course, they almost never have any feedback. Right there with the credit card and the power of the dollar in their hand, they almost never have any feedback for the store. So this is part of what we're going to do to fix and to really improve upon that, both to help the stores and to help consumers become better at this kind of feedback. Lastly, there's important state legislation, SB 1383 has already passed to reduce food waste in California. We have 1 year in the county to prepare for it. And there's more crucial landmark legislation is coming to make big oil and single-use plastics manufacturers responsible for reducing their environmental damage. So lastly, we want to thank you one more time. Thank all of our sponsors. Invite you to participate with us. Thank our Zero Heroes for being inspiring models for other businesses. We'll continue to promote what you do throughout the year. And once again, thanks to all of you for your support. Good night, everybody.